Now, everybody dies, right? Everybody dies. Everybody, usually is ill before they die, other than the traumas or the acute events. But this way, patients are being forced out of their control to look at their life in a timeline. Everything that they wish they had done but didn't do, and everything that they've accomplished and are now going to lose. And how are they going to bring all that into the next 12 months, assuming they get that much time?
I just started a company, just finishing the house, and we were moving, I think, like right when I got cancer.
When I first found out how serious this was, I had about 24 hours of devastation. And I remember going, okay, someone has lived from this. I remember just thinking, I'll be that person.
The first thing that they're faced with is the surgery, because they may have a seizure on Sunday, have an MRI scan that night, and then their operating room on Tuesday or Wednesday.
They took an MRI and it came on and said, you better call your wife. That was it. Like a day and a half later, they'd just taken it out. So, yeah, that was quick. All my family was here. Pretty much everybody flew in.
And I remember being in a play in San Francisco, and I was literally clapping like this at the end, going, Brian, look at how I'm clapping. And he's like, that's so weird. He goes, what are you doing? I said, I don't know. Well, it was before we knew the real situation. And I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what it was.
Most people don't understand the brain. It's this sacred place that is too mysterious, and then they're told they have a malignant disease that would probably change their life and take their life. And they have to adapt very quickly, and their families have to adapt very quickly.
And one of the fellows came in, and he was very awful bedside manner. And he was just like, well, the statistics are blah, 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 blah. It just was just a big turnoff. I went into the hotel room, and I remember that night, and I was devastated, and I couldn't shake it. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, and I couldn't shake it. Just this feeling of gloom, like I am a goner. This sucks. This is gonna be bad.
So there's no bullshit. It's just the essence of our lives, and it hits every dimension of it, right? Life, death, religion, non-religion, loss, family. Everything is compressed into that space, that little moment of, I'm talking about my life here now, and I'm losing everything. And what does that mean?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, this is going to be the hard part. It's already taken so much away. I don't want to be angry or be sad about it anymore. You know what I mean? I just don't want it to ruin my days. So, I don't know. They said surgery, I said fine. I said take this, I said fine. Whatever it takes. I just don't want to give into it too much. Or at all. So, what am I going to do?
I used to multitask like a queen, and now I can, but like my aunt says, you're just Kate Light right now. You're down to our level of energy. My memory's bad. And honey, what else?
I have to get my head going. I have to get my memory. I can't spell, and my reading is very difficult for me to read. I'm not entirely sure how much I can get back.
I'm like, what do we use the left part of our brains for? When you look at my scans, there's nothing there. And I just laugh going, that's really interesting.
So they took it out, and it was in the occipital part of my brain. So I have a full vision cut. So when I'm looking at you right now, I don't see the left side. I don't see your left eye. So it's a full vision cut. So that was a pain. They took my license.
Brian was driving. We were heading home on 5, and I was supposed to be driving. Fortunately, he was. And I remember thinking, I have a headache. Why haven't I gotten anything? And I remember thinking that a couple different times. And then all of a sudden, I guess I had a grand mal seizure. Next thing I know, we pull up, and I'm looking underneath the ER, the overhang. The door's open, there's a wheelchair there, and Brian's white as a ghost, and had gotten us there.
So there are those moments, right, we all have these events happen in your life where something happens and it moves you in a different direction, right? We all have those if we're open to them and understand what they mean.
Okay, here's the deal. This is a conversation we haven't had. It seems so much harder on you than it does me. Because once I'm gone, that's it. I'm done. I couldn't imagine being, like, in your shoes. That's what makes it hard. That's the hardest thing for me. That's why I've never said it. I mean, it's easy for me. I just have to deal with this day to day. It's the way it is. And then I'm done. There's nothing else I can do.
Life can change very quickly, and we're kind of on our way living it. And how do we deal with those trials? How do we deal with those obstacles that kind of come and are presented? And that's when we need to be grounded. That's when we need to know, I've got my family, got my spouse, got my boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and I can rely on them, and we can move forward together and get through this.
Can I get a taste of that stuff right next to the chocolate back there?
Because it's all here. It's kind of all here. It's all kind of where we're at. It's who we are and who we are with the people around us. Think about it. How many people do you know that can actually in the middle of the week just kind of spend that time together? It's a good thing. I like it. You know. So it's good living. Everything's pretty simple now. I mean, I can only remember so much and I can only plan so much. I mean, it's just a matter of fighting the illness and staying functional and kind of clear-headed, or trying to break free of what just the illness is doing to me and trying to break out of that. And yeah, cycling's huge. Being on the road like that, I mean, I just like, that's my church. I'll go to the woods.
You have to understand, I don't focus on what I've lost. I focus on the fact that I'm here still, and I'm beating the stats already at 2 years. It's so funny because right now in my Bible study, we're studying Isaiah. The prayer literally, God came to him and said, get your affairs in order because you're gonna die of this illness you have. He begged and pleaded for more time and said, you know, I've done everything you've asked. And God said, okay, I will give you 15 more years. So I even joked with Mike about that yesterday. I'm like, Mike, you think it's selfish if I ask for like more than 15 years like Hezekiah got? He's laughing. He's like, you can ask for whatever you want. When I first found out about the recurrence, you know, we always bring him lunch and hug him, and he's just like, I said, how's your day going? He said, it's been one of those days. I'm like, I'm sorry. He said, Kate, it's still one of those days.
So they're always worried about that moment, but once it happens again, then there's a rush to do something. And it kind of goes that way until it stops. I'm not sure I chose to be in this path. Basically, it came from a single patient, a young woman. If I was with her when she died, there was a lot of research going on in breast cancer, leukemia, lymphoma, all that kind of stuff. There was nothing going on. And it just struck me as, this is totally wrong. This is totally wrong.
It just seems like we've gone through so many options and throughout the last, years in and out. But now with this second one back up here, surgery's not really an option. It's always hard to, you just never know.
And if we can't help, we're going to still help, right? I mean, it doesn't stop because the research trial didn't work. Unfortunately, most of the time we lose patients, but the path still goes on. So every new patient is a legacy of that path. And I'm a legacy of that path. And the oncologists that work with me are a legacy of that path. So that we're all working towards the same goal, which is strategically to find a cure.